Is this the greatest concept record of all time? It's certainly up there in the top 5. Let's discuss Rush 2112 in this episode of the Vinyl Explorer. Hey, how's it going? David Taub here with Next Level Guitar. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. Welcome to another edition of the Vinyl Explorer, and this is where we take a look at what I feel are really important records on vinyl. Records that have had a big influence on myself musically and on my guitar journey. This is the 4th studio record by Rush that was released in April 1976. And we all know about Rush, right? Just a hugely important and influential progressive hard rock band. They've sold over 40 million records worldwide. I believe over 14 platinum records and 3 multi-platinum records. And this record, 2112, is one of my favorite Rush records. And it is just a musically and lyrically brilliant concept record. This is just a spellbinding science fiction storytelling concept record with an amazing story and amazing musical accompaniment and genius lyrics. And Rush is one of my favorite bands. You know, they kind of started me off on my whole progressive rock journey because I love progressive rock and progressive hard rock. It's probably my most favorite genre of music. And it kind of all started for me with Rush. I started listening to them in high school. I believe it was Permanent Waves was the first record that I heard from them. And it just blew me away. And then I started to go back and explore all their earlier stuff. And that really set me off on my progressive rock journey. Huge influence also on my guitar playing and my songwriting. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest concept records ever written. It's in the top 5, you know, absolutely. And I think there are a few reasons why, but one of them is that it just paints such a picture. You could just see the story happening in your mind's eye, right? It takes you on such a journey, and the music goes so well with the lyrics and the story. It's so connected and it's so visceral. It's so right there that in your mind's eye, you're picturing this. And that's what makes great records, great books, you know, where it's great storytelling and you could see that landscapes and stories in your mind and picture it, right? In your mind's eye as you're listening to it or as you're reading it. And the concept here is one of individualism versus totalitarianism. And it's really about the power of the individual. And this is kind of straight out of the playbook of Ayn Rand. It kind of is loosely based on the Ayn Rand book, Anthem. But what Rush did is they put their own spin on it, right? They personalized it and made it have a young hero, and the story, they kind of made it into their own. And they take you right there, right to the year 2112, where you're visiting this planet of the Solar Federation, this dystopian world that's ruled on this one planet by the evil priests of the Temple of Syrinx. And we're going to get into the whole story and everything, but this is just one of the reasons why I love progressive rock and progressive hard rock so much, because the music just takes you on that journey, you know, and it's music that you could really sink your teeth into. A little history first on this record, time frame wise, because it was a really interesting time in Rush's career. 1976 is their 4th record. The record before this was Caress of Steel, and that was kind of their first stab at a concept record. But that record was not well received. That record did not do well commercially, and that record saw less and less attendance at their live shows. In fact, the band called that tour, the Caress of Steel tour, the Going Down the Tubes tour, because they thought it all was going to end after that. And in fact, their manager had to talk the record company into giving them one more chance. And the record company agreed to give them another chance, but they really were pushing them to produce more commercially viable material and less these long songs and concepts. And Rush pretty much basically said, we're not doing that, we're going to do what we want. And they produced this. And this basically saved them because this was their first real commercially successful record. And I think this record went on to chart at like number 5 in Canada and was their first multi-platinum record. So this record was a real breakthrough for them, and it allowed them to do what they wanted to, which was write progressive hard rock music and explore that further, and allowed them basically to do whatever they want after this. So this was a hugely important record for the band. 75 was Caress of Steel, their 4th. 76 was 2112. 77 they put out Farewell to Kings. 78 Hemispheres. 80 Permanent Waves. 81 Moving Pictures. So my favorite Rush records are right in that 2112, Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres. Probably 2112 and Hemispheres are my two favorites, and then Farewell to Kings. And I know everybody loves Moving Pictures, and that's a great record. It really is, has some great songs in it. But I prefer the concept stuff. I prefer the longer songs. I prefer the stuff that really takes you more on a journey. Although Moving Pictures is great, and that achieved incredible commercial success for them, and they deserved it, right? Because they're such a hard-working band, and truly just a bunch of, just the three of them, just a bunch of good guys doing what they love to do and doing it well, right? What's wrong with that? So they deserved all the success that the Moving Pictures brought them. But I love the earlier stuff most of all. And if you'd like some free content, some video lessons and free ebooks, things that'll really help you along your guitar and musical journey, click on that link in the YouTube description box below. I'll send you a free video lesson and ebook. The video lesson's extended play. It's not on YouTube. And the ebook is a killer reference book that you're going to be using throughout your guitar journey. It's packed with scale diagrams, major and minor key soloing, exercises, lessons, soloing strategies, music theory, and I'll send them both to you for free. Just click on that link below. So if we take a look at the cover, and the inside, it's gatefold. It folds out. You have the red star of the Solar Federation, right? You have the spacey background that fits within the whole concept of the science fiction. Here is the gatefold cover. It's probably a little hard to see because it's black, but basically has all the lyrics and credits here. And then again, you see like some wiring computer because the temples of Syrinx inside those halls were lined with computers. It was computers feeding the evil priest, you know, how things are going to be. Here's Geddy, Neil, and Alex. And then on the back cover, and it has a little bit about the story and side one and side two. So let's talk a little bit about the genius of the concept and the story, because it's really awesome. And the way that they weaved the music and the lyrics into the story is just brilliant. Basically, the year is 2112, and there's a federation of planets, and one of the planets is ruled by the evil priests of the Temple of Syrinx. And they control all aspects of daily life. There's no individualism. There's no creativity. They just want everything the same. No creative thought. You know, you just live your life. We tell you what to do, and we tell you everything, basically. And the hero of the story, this one guy, you know, he thought like that was a good life. He thought like, okay, you know, life is good and this is just how it is, until something happens. So the priests keep everyone in line and they dictate everything about arts and culture. There's no music. Music is unknown. And I'll just read you some of the lyrics because they're really brilliant. And it's a little dark, so I'm going to have a little light on them so I could see. So part one is the overture, and that's the beginning of this piece, and it's the music. And then part two is the Temples of Syrinx. We've taken care of everything, the words you read, the songs you sing, the pictures that give you pleasure to your eyes, right? The priests control all aspects of life for everyone. You never need to wonder how or why. Don't question anything. We'll tell you everything you need to know. We are the priests of the Temples of Syrinx. Our great computers fill the hallowed halls, right? The computers are feeding them, you know, everything. Like, I guess all the planets of the Federation are all wired together in this dystopian way of life. Remember I told you how the hero of the story, this one man, thinks that's okay until this happens in Discovery. In Discovery, he unearths, it's like a cave in a waterfall. You hear the water running, and it's really beautiful, this part of the record. And he unearths an old guitar. And he's like, what is this thing with these strings? And I pluck them and they make music and sound. And what is this? And the music goes along with it so well. He finds this guitar and he's like, what can this strange device be? When I touch it, it gives forth a sound. It's got wires that vibrate and give music. What can this thing be that I found? Chords that build high like a mountain, or notes that fall gently like rain. Starting to discover this instrument, learn how to play, and how beautiful it is, and how creative you could be, and how it could give you the ability to, you know, all these emotions and feelings. I can't wait to share this new wonder. The people will all see its light. Let them all make their own music. The priests praise my name on this night. He's feels he's got to show this to everybody. He's got to bring it to the priests and be like, look at this beautiful, wonderful thing that I found and what amazing things people can do with it and how much joy it could bring to people's lives, man. I'm really excited about this, right? And the music is following this and it sounds happy and whatnot. And then in a presentation, which is the fourth movement, he brings the guitar to the priests. And it's very interesting the way that the band plays this part because they have it in multiple parts. So like when he's talking, saying, hey, here's this, instrument, check this out. It's all happy and melodious and nice. And then the priests talk. And then they're like screaming at him, no, 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 this is nothing new. Don't annoy us with this. We don't have no need for these ancient ways, And then it goes back to him talking, wow, why wouldn't anyone want this? It's so beautiful and the music is nice. And then it goes back to the priest and the music gets loud and it's really awesome. But even the lyrics are so cool. He says to the priest, I found an ancient miracle I thought that you should know. Listen to my music and hear what it can do. There's something here as strong as life. I know that it will reach you. And then the priests reply, yes, we know it's nothing new. It's just a waste of time. We have no need for ancient ways. Our world is doing fine. Don't question things. We have no need for these ancient tools. Creativity. Another toy that helped destroy the elder race of man. Forget about your silly whim. It doesn't fit the plan, right? They don't want this. They don't want individuality. They don't want creativity. And then the man is like, he can't believe it. It goes back to the calm, melodious music. I don't believe you're saying these things just can't be true. Our world could use this beauty. Just think what we might do. And then listen to my music. They play the chorus again. And then the priest, it gets loud and they're like, don't annoy us further. We have our work to do. Just think about the average. What use have they for you? So he's telling them, we just want everyone to be average. We don't need this, just think about the average. That's what you should be concerned about, how to conform to everybody else, and everybody else needs to be like that, right? That's in Discovery. So that leads to part 5 of the concept, Oracle the Dream. Taking a break from the record for a second, don't forget, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as ring that subscription bell because then you'll be notified when we have new lessons and new content posted. And please leave a comment below. Let me know how you like this video and let me know what lessons or what other records you'd like me to explore in future episodes, right? And if you like the video, please click the like button, give it a thumbs up, share it, and thank you so much for your support. So in part 5 of our story, right, our hero now is very dejected and he lays down and he goes to sleep and he has a dream and he's visited by an oracle. And the music is really good for this part because it's really heart-wrenching and so visceral and you could feel what this guy is going through. So here's some of the lyrics after he falls asleep and he starts to dream, and he's dreaming that he's standing on a spiral stair. An oracle confronts him there, who leads him on light years away through astrolights and galactic days. And then he sees this world, and he sees the work of gifted hands, grace the strange and wondrous lands. He sees the hand of man arise, with hungry mind and open eyes. He sees this world that this oracle is showing him in his dream, where people are free, and they're free to create, and they are free thinkers, right? And they're able to lead these fulfilling lives and choose their own paths and their own destiny. They left their planet long ago. The elder race still learn and grow. The power grows with purpose strong to claim the home where they belong. Home to tear the temples down, home to change, right? This is a world where he's seeing this war where everybody's going to rise up and tear the temples down and have change and live in a life that they can really enjoy and experience all that it has to offer, right? But it's just a dream. He's dreaming that. And then the next part, which is soliloquy, part 6, he kind of returns, you hear the water, and he kind of returns to that place with the waterfall in the cave. He's very dejected now because he wakes up and he realizes that was just a dream. And he also realizes he's kind of depressed because he realizes that he'll never have that kind of life. He'll never live in that world, right? So the lyrics here are, the sleep is still in my eyes, the dream is still in my head. I hear a sigh and sadly smile and lie a while in bed. I wish that I might come to pass not fade like all my dreams. Just think of what my life might be in a world like I have seen. He's thinking about the possibilities of what that other life could be. So he says, I don't think I can carry on this cold and empty life. He's realizing that his life really wasn't that good. He's realizing that he's not experiencing life as it should be experienced. My spirits are low in the depths of despair. He's so depressed, my life's blood spills over. So he kills himself. And then in part 7, the grand finale, which basically is just instrumental. Okay, so there's no lyrics in that part. So basically what happens now is there's a war that ensues after this. And it's so amazing because Alex Lifeson plays this incredible guitar line and it actually sounds like a battle going on. And there's a war between, you know, the Solar Federation and the individuals that are rising up against this. And although I think they're leaving it up for interpretation, my interpretation, what I think what happens, because if you listen to the music, and especially when that one chord comes in, it gets happy. Like that's like the good guys coming in. That's like the cavalry coming over the hills to go on and defeat, right, this totalitarian regime. So in the end, I feel the good guys win, and then we have attention all planets of the Solar Federation. We have assumed control. We have assumed control. That's the last line of side 1 of the record, and I think that's the good guys taking control over all this and bringing back the fact that, okay, we're smashing the temples and we're bringing back creativity and individualism. So even though our hero killed himself, I think the big point of this is that in his struggles, that led to the toppling of this empire, right? That led to everybody starting to stand up. And it's just showing you the power of individualism and what one person can do. So powerful. I've been listening to this record for 30 years, right? And every time I listen to it, it still makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It still makes me get goosebumps after that long. It's like an amazing movie, an amazing book, and an amazing record all rolled up into one, right? That's side 1. And then on side 2, you have some really good songs like A Passage to Bancock, right? The Twilight Zone, Lessons, Tears, and another great song, Something for Nothing. So they're showing on side 2 that, hey, we could write some good shorter songs too if we want to. That's 2112, one of my favorite records by one of my favorite bands. Hope you enjoyed this episode of The Vinyl Explorer. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that subscription bell. That really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when we have new lessons posted. And also click on the link in the YouTube description box below. I'll send you a free video lesson, an ebook that'll really help you along in your guitar journey. And if you want to check out some of my original music, I recently dropped a new record with my original band Mind Cell. We're based out of San Diego, California. It's a slamming record. I think it's some of the best music I've ever written. It's streaming on all the platforms, so I'll put links to that in the YouTube description box below. Check it out, and then if you have any questions for me on the songs or the gear I use or the studio techniques, drop me a line. Love to hear from you. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and thank you so much for your support over the years. Stay tuned, got tons more killer content and lessons coming. Keep up all that hard work on those guitars, keep having fun with them, and remember, your guitar playing is an evolution, so enjoy the journey. Take care, rock on, see you in the next video.